It's a long shot, but I want this character back in Star Trek. Strange New Worlds Season 3. Strange New Worlds has proven itself as one of the most refreshing Star Trek series in decades, embracing the optimistic, episodic spirit of the original series while still giving its crew depth, arcs, and heartbreak. Season 2 ended on a cliffhanger that left fans debating who might live, who might die, and who might never return. But while speculation swirls around Captain Pike, Una, Spock, and Lon, my heart is focused on one character who, against all odds, I desperately want back in Season 3, Hemmer, the inner engineer. Yes, I know. He died. And in Star Trek, death is supposed to mean something, except when it doesn't. After all, Spock himself died in the Wrath of Khan and came back in the search for Spock. Data, Tasha Yar, even Harry Mudd, depending on which timeline you follow, all found their way back into Trek after apparent finality. But Hemmer's loss in Season 1 still feels unfinished, and his quiet presence left such a hole on the Enterprise that I can't help but hope Strange New Worlds finds a way to bring him back. Hemmer was the beating heart of Season 1. From the moment Bruce Horrick's Hemmer appeared, he brought something unique to the crew. A member of the Aegir, a blind subspecies of Andorians, Hemmer challenged the franchise's long history of portraying engineers as eccentric chatterboxes. Scotty was full of bluster, O'Brien was world-weary, Torres was fiery, and Stamets was sharp-tongued. Hemmer, by contrast, was calm, measured, and quietly confident. His bond with Uhura, in particular, was a highlight of Season 1. Their mentor-student dynamic helped shape her growth, turning her from a cadet unsure of her future into someone ready to step into her destiny as one of Starfleet's greatest officers. When Hemmer sacrificed himself and all those who wandered to save his crew, it wasn't just a noble act. It was devastating because of how much he meant to those around him. But that's the thing. His story still feels incomplete. His legacy lingers in Uhura's choices. But Star Trek is at its best when characters get to explore new dimensions of their lives. Hemmer was only beginning to open up before his death. The Bruce Horrick factor. One of the reasons Hemmer worked so well is Bruce Horrick himself. As the first legally blind actor to play a main character in Star Trek, Horrick brought both authenticity and nuance to the role. His dry wit, subtle humor, and presence made Hemmer unforgettable in just a handful of episodes. Strange New Worlds clearly recognizes this. Even after Hemmer's death, Horrick returned in Season 2 to play a hallucination that haunted Uhura. That cameo reminded me that the actor has so much more to give this show, and it gave me hope that the door isn't fully closed. If the series can find room for James T. Kirk as a recurring guest before he ever commands the Enterprise, surely it can find a place for Hemmer, or at least Horrick in another guise. How could Hemmer return? This is Star Trek we're talking about, and canon has never been an insurmountable wall. If the writers wanted to, they could find several ways to bring Hemmer, or a version of him, back. 1. A clone or genetic copy. The Gorn conflict could reveal that Hemmer's body was recovered or replicated. Trek has leaned on cloning before, from Second Chances with Riker's duplicate to the many Jem'Hadar soldiers of DS9. 2. A vision or AI recreation. Uhura could keep seeing or even interacting with a holographic Hemmer, much like how Voyager used holograms of past crew members. This would let Bruce Horrick stay part of the show without breaking continuity. 3. Time travel shenanigans. No one in Star Trek is ever safe from temporal anomalies. A younger or alternate timeline Hemmer could easily show up in Season 3. 4. A hidden survival twist. We saw him fall, but we never saw the body again. If the Gorn captured him instead of killing him, his return could be both shocking and narratively justified. Of course, some of these ideas are cleaner than others, but isn't Trek all about exploring the improbable? Why it matters. Hemmer wasn't just a side character. He represented something deeply Trek at its core. His disability was not portrayed as a weakness, but as a strength. His inner abilities allowed him to see in ways his human crewmates could not. His mentorship of Uhura was gentle yet profound. And his humor, dry, sardonic, but never cruel, was a breath of fresh air on a ship full of big personalities. Bringing Hemmer back would honor the spirit of Star Trek's inclusivity and remind fans that even in a galaxy of warp drives and starships, representation, and heart matter most. Plus, Season 3 is shaping up to be darker with the Gorn War escalating. The Enterprise will need Hemmer's steadying presence now more than ever. A long shot worth taking. I know it's unlikely. Strange New Worlds made a point of giving Hemmer's death weight and meaning, and undercutting that would be risky. But sometimes, risks pay off. Just imagine Pike walking into